So, welcome to the Mass Effect Season 2 campaign vlog number 19. The second to last session.
Yay!
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 We made it!
That was
Someone
awkward. But,
flustered.
Yes, this is the beach party. This is the beach party vlog. Yay!
This is the beach party
Yay!
vlog.
The
We
nipples.
have hinted at the bare chest episode for multiple sessions, and now there it is. All but me, because
All of this is here. All of that beef is over there, or over there, whichever way my camera is. I don't know.
Yes.
Both directions.
Hashtag fan service. Yes. Okay.
Man. Jules needed a chance to dirty up a bit, so I gave him that chance. Arya Talok, I wasn't expecting. I was like thinking like Saren or something, like along those lines of like, oh, like what type of, because in my questionnaire originally I was like, Dia's father is like well-known criminal slash terrorist in the unknown part. And I was like, oh, I wasn't expecting the father to be. Explains the biotic power, though.
Explains the biotic power, and I mean the attitude is. I can see some
really
Arya.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It makes total sense.
I actually went to Hark a little while ago because Hark never mentioned who Dia's dad was in the.
Yeah, we knew about. Oh, here's the beach.
We knew about Vetra was your mom. That was what Gimmick found out. And I said in Hark in PMs on Discord, if you make Arya Talok Dia's dad, it explains how she has access to dominate and stuff like that, because only a Sari can mess with minds. But if you do that, I'm going to go to DC and throw you off your second floor balcony. So. I guess that's next.
So yep, apparently we're going back to DC, guys.
For the epilogue.
But I mean, I'm just saying, the second I get a car, I'm heading back over to DC, and I'm bringing all of the maple syrup. Which is probably going to be soon, because I found a smart that's not that expensive, so hopefully once the cat stuff is paid for, I'm going to have a car.
Ooh.
How much maple syrup you can stuff inside the smart?
I don't know. Well, I probably as much can as I want, but the thing is mostly the customs. But
yeah.
The sweetest thing in since sweet Nathan and Jerry. Nathan does end up with everyone. Hashtag facts. Gimmick and Stan. That's too wholesome for the world. It's too wholesome. Even though Stan's a pervert a little shit.
You decided that.
I think Stan treated Indy very respectfully, though.
He did.
Yeah.
But he was also honest.
He was a little gentleman.
Yeah,
He was a
I'm
little
seeing it as a
gentleman.
childhood crush.
Yeah,
Like,
I was like posting
First
like
first
chat.
girlfriend, first partner, you know.
That's like more like a middle school first date during like lunch after everyone's eaten. So that's what that thing reminded me of.
That was in the bus on the way home.
Oh, that's so cute. And then Dia isn't like that. She's like, she wants to get down to business.
Yep.
I mean, at least he was
The Turian way of releasing stress,
yeah,
as shown by Garrus.
Yes.
Put it in
What was it? I've got reach, you got flexibility. In Dia's case, she's got reach and flexibility. And well,
She's very adaptable.
Also, Dia was almost the shadow broker.
Yeah, she wanted to be.
Yeah.
I wanted to, then I was like, I can't do it because then it's gonna just be crazy. But I can
They
still...
shut you down.
You can be part of the council. Like
No,
yeah.
Dia's gonna be definitely involved in that.
I mean,
yeah.
we know at some point, when they're like, oh, we need to vote in a new Shadow Broker this term, Dia might actually get voted Shadow Broker at some point.
True.
Or at least manipulate them into making her into the new Shadow Broker. If
Oh,
that's
no.
how it goes.
Should we be nervous?
Dominate.
I mean, I did do the whole "we killed him first, so deal with it, Quinn."
I do appreciate the fact that Grunt and Lara and all these other people from the first season were there, and Mother Hen, who hadn't.
Yeah.
It was nice to see.
I want to say, yeah, Hark did pull out names really fast. And did you have that
know.
prepared or?
I prepared the names during the break because we took a break,
Ah.
and I was like,
Wow.
I need to pick out who those Shadowbreaker agents are going to be, and so I pulled out my spreadsheet and I looked, and I'm like, okay, blah 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 blah.
It's great to know that we can update the spreadsheet of who's doing what in what universe, because we know
Yeah.
Quinn is an agent of the Shadow Broker in the universe.
Yeah, I was trying to be very strategic because I wanted there to be a character from Mass Effect, a PC character from Mass Effect Season 1. I wanted there to be some tie with Crystal Chen, just because we haven't really seen much of Crystal Chen recently, and specifically, and Crystal Chen had a lot, Yi had a lot of other characters that never was brought to light at all. Like Jun I don't think was ever really mentioned by name. So I wanted to put June in there. And then Jamak Avorsk had a very minor role. So I wanted to put him out there. And then I wanted to put in somebody from the classic Mass Effect trilogy. And I just thought, well, Liara, it makes sense for Liara to be there. And why not we just throw Grunt in as like her bodyguard? Because, I mean, that's cool too.
Yeah. Plus, you had made me roll to see if Grunt was still alive earlier in the campaign. So.
And I looked and said, oh, Grunt's still alive. It was either between Grunt or Zaid, but I thought Grunt made more sense.
Grunt is
Zaid.
cute.
I like Grunt a lot.
Yeah, me too.
I'm
Baby
so sad in
Krogan.
the original trilogy we can't romance Grunt.
Yeah, I honestly, if Grunt was available for romancing in Mass Effect 2, he would have been my first choice, actually.
I know, he's just so cute.
He's very cute, and he's got a very attractive voice. I just really like his voice a lot. So.
I agree with that. There's actually never been a Krogan romance in the main games.
No Krogan, no Solarian. There needs to be.
I wanted.
You can accidentally if you don't romance anyone and you always talk to Morden, eventually Morden's gonna go, hey, I'm flattered, but I'm not into humans. And you're like, oh, okay.
He's like, I'm too old for this anyway. So.
Well, yeah, he says, I actually don't have, I'm a Solarian, I don't have a sex drive, so that wouldn't work. I'm pretty old, and, I'm not into humans, but if I was, I'd try you. That's pretty much what he says. So yeah. I'd try you, and you're like, why can't you try me now? Morden, please. Oh, my love for Solarians started since Mass Effect 1.
What else?
Yeah, about Dia. So at the start of the campaign of this session, I sent a message to Hark asking if Gimme could send some letters. The thing is that, I didn't know actually what was going to happen in this session, and we didn't get to talk too much about those, so I didn't know if Gimme had the time to send them, or if I don't know. It didn't make a lot of sense for Gimme to send it after going back on everyone else before and being before Gimme tried to talk with Dia's brother without telling her, I mean. And yeah, so this time I first tried to talk with Dia about it, but still keep it as a surprise. I'm happy that it turned out well, I think.
Yeah, I think what would have happened, what we're going to say is that you had actually sent the letter earlier.
Yeah.
You sent it earlier, and then...
Yeah, that's how I imagine it.
Yeah, and then you asked Dia after the fact, and then you were talking to Stan after the fact, just to try to get some sort of what is it called? Justification, just to get some justification. Yes. After you've already done it.
That's how I imagined it. There are another 2 letters, but I guess those didn't work, right?
I think that it was too late notice if it was going to work. Realistically, it would be really weird if you sent all three of them at such short notice and all three of them were able to
Show
come.
them, yeah.
Do you want to reveal in this vlog who else you wrote to, or do you not want to reveal that?
No, I think it's okay right now.
Okay.
So the first one was for Nathan's sister, because I didn't know how she was going to react to that. So it was like a letter from a binary helix saying they made a medical checkup and find out that one of the samples in the database was similar to her DNA makeup. So it was like some way of greasing her up so she would be more open when you came up with the information that you were her brother. But yeah, I don't think it was needed in the end, or maybe it didn't reach before she read it. But yeah, it was just in case she was more accepting. She didn't believe what you said, what you told her. And the other one was to Shepard.
Oh no, you didn't.
Yeah, it was a letter like letting him know, because it seems like he didn't want to be part of that experiment, but it was a letter like I wasn't sure if Shepard would want to come, so it was in a way just to tell him that someone Vitos was born from that experiment, and that you took Vito took Shepard's name, and that he was wearing it with honor and with being very respectful, and I personally, Gimmick was happy that he took that decision of using his DNA, and that now we have Vito with us. So yeah, there were letters, so we could have some ties on those things.
I'm curious, what would Shepard's answer to that letter would have been?
Yeah, so I can answer that for you. So trying to put myself in Shepard's shoes, because that actually hits very close to home for me, because now that we're going through the process of having children, we required an egg donor. And when you have an egg donor, the egg donor has the option to release permission to allow the child who is born from the donor to release contact information if they want to reach that person. Some egg donors will provide permission once they turn 18, and many don't. And hopefully you can understand why many don't, because if you have a lot of children end up being born because of your egg donors, or even your semen donor, if you're doing that, that's a lot of kids that could be knocking on your door 18 years later. Like, that's a lot of people like just randomly calling up, like, hey, yeah, you're my biological mom, which I think would be a bit off-putting for someone if that's like a bit of a can of worms to open. Also, if the person is just doing this because they want to provide this to a family but have zero ties, that's just like understandable, because they might not necessarily want to develop some sort of emotional attachment to someone that they can't really consider to be their child. There's different reasons why. So putting myself in Shepard's shoes, he specifically did not want to do this in the first place. Somebody had to twist his arm to do this, and the only reason he did it was because at the end of the day, this person that was asking him was a good friend of his, and he can see the benefit from it. So he was trusting that she would honor his request of being anonymous. By informing Shepard that there is someone who found out and is interested in meeting him, that violates his trust, and it probably honestly would make him really angry and upset. Because if that were me, I would be angry, upset too. Because now I feel like I'm painted in a corner, because now you put me in a position where I really don't want this. I didn't ask for this in the first place, and now you've put me in a position that makes me feel guilty. Because if I respond to this, then I'm getting something that I didn't ask for, that I specifically said I didn't want. But if I don't respond to this, I feel like I'm an awful person and a terrible awful person because you've just guilted me into, I now know this information. And because I know this information, I feel guilty if I don't reach out to this person. So I will at least say initially, if I was being completely honest, he would not have received it very well because
Okay.
it was a breach in his trust and he feels that he's been painted into a corner, into something that he didn't want. So,
Kids of his own by now?
I'm sorry?
Does Clive have kids of his own in this universe
I
already?
don't know if, I don't know if this Clive even wanted to have children. That's the thing. I don't know if he even wanted to have kids.
Yeah, because they probably have different personalities from universe to universe. Like, so maybe in some universe he would have children, and in this one wouldn't.
Yeah. So most likely, at least now, he probably would have hesitated in showing up, just because he's still upset that his wishes were not met. I'm sure he would feel bad for Vito because it's not Vito's fault. It's just a very unfortunate situation that he wished, I guess part of him wished that he could have been blissfully naive about. So that's the honest answer to the question.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
knowing this, I mean, Gimmick would have sent it anyways because Gimmick is tactless like that. But yeah, if because nothing happened, we can say that no letter was sent. Yeah.
As somebody who again has a child who is from an egg donor, I personally firmly believe that I want to respect the wishes of my donor. And that if my child wants to find out who their biological parent is, I would sit down with them and say, I understand completely why you might be curious and why you want to know, but you also need to understand that you have to respect their wishes because X, Y, and Z. So that's my feeling of it.
Yeah, I feel like that too, but Vito doesn't. That's
but Vito doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah, Vito doesn't, and it's kind of hard to go with that because, yeah, like I wanted to know, like, as a player, because it was really interesting, but at the same time, like, had I been in Vito's shoes, I would not have like searched about it. I would be like, okay, that's just, yeah, that's something. I'm not touching that. I'm still me. That's okay. But yeah, Vito's curious and he wants to know, and then again, with his knowledge, he's still staying to his word and not planning on like contacting Shepard at all. Like, he has the knowledge and that's it. He's not gonna do anything with it.
Who knows? Like, over time, I'm just trying to role play the initial feeling. Maybe over time he'd be like, okay, it's done. Maybe I can meet this person. So
I actually believe that Nathan went into telling Sarah about their blood ties, I guess. The same way Vetra went into you RP'd Vetra exactly the same way that I would have said to Sarah if she's like, I'm not sure if I want to get to know you. I feel like after all these years, maybe it'll just be a hindrance, or it'll cause us both more hassle than it would anything else. And in that case, he would have been like, that's totally fine. I didn't come here with any expectations. He felt the exact same way going into that phone call, but he got a very happy response out of it because he gets to meet and get to know his sister now. So assuming everything goes well, he actually gets to have a family, a blood family.
And he's your twin sister, and I think twins do have naturally some sort of extra bond there. So maybe you had a feeling that there was someone out there, and she probably did too.
Yeah.
Speaking of Sarah Ryder, is nobody ever going to say anything to Koalin?
Oh,
I
you're
mean,
right.
I think we during the in-person session we had told Koalan that she was at Binary Helix. That's Sarah Ryder was,
Oh yeah,
and he did say that he didn't want to like see her again, or
I think it was more of a hypothetical. I
yeah.
don't
It was
think
like,
you've.
oh right,
It
he
was more
didn't.
of a hypothetical. So at the time, he was like, "Oh, it's like she's got her life, I've got my life." Sarah's a very common name, so I
yeah, that
don't know if that necessarily means he will still have that attitude if he knows for sure that's the same Sarah Ryder. But
Yeah, and
who knows?
if he, like figures out that Nathan is
I mean, I don't
Sarah's
think
brother.
would. I don't know if Nathan believes if they're the same person. Well, i- Nathan would probably ask Sarah how she'd feel about him telling Quallen about this, because at the same time it's her privacy. Like if she doesn't want to get to know Quallen again and doesn't want to go back there in her life, then that's fine. But Nathan would prefer to ask her first and say, "Look, I know Quallen and Tyr. I know you guys used to be friends, and he and I are very close. And I wanted to know if you were okay with getting to know him again, or whatever else."
And I mean, we ended up having a jelly surprise.
yeah,
I was so happy because I thought, I thought Ojavi would just end up being in the epilogue and simply mentioned throughout the campaign, maybe being in the crossover later on. But I mean, I'm so glad to actually have Vito interact with her
Yeah,
for what.
I again I know Kiwi really 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 wanted Ojavi to be more involved in the campaign. I totally understand and I got it. I just the and I think I explained this to Kiwi. My hesitancy was from the standpoint of you guys going on this adventure. Um, it didn't make sense for us to have this new baby, essentially this new child coming into your household, and realistically have Vito continue with the mission. Like that
Yeah.
just didn't make any sense, because like as a parent you're like, F the mission, I gotta stay with my family and take care of this new child. Maybe if you had Ojavi for at least a couple years, at least, sure, then you can go off and go on adventuring, but not when you just received the baby. I feel like it would make Vito seem like an awful parent.
Yeah.
Being like, yeah, I'm just gonna go, like, regardless of whether or not he's saying, oh, this is for, I'm doing this for you, I'm doing this for the family. It's still like, well, your
You're still
priorities.
leaving your husband alone with a kid.
You're still leaving your
that's-
husband
yeah,
alone. Yeah, for the first time, when he's never raised a child himself, you're just kind of leaving him there,
Yeah.
like to dry, and going off on these adventures. So, yeah, from a narrative standpoint that I felt made logical sense, I couldn't just have Ojavi there. But I figured, hey, it's the second to the last session. Let's put him there so that Kiwi can interact with her at least a little bit before going off and possibly dying. So,
Yeah. So at least Vito could have. At least Vito had a swim with his child once. But
Got to meet God Kid.
Hmm?
Nathan got to meet his God Kid as well.
yeah. Oh, it was so cute. It was a really nice surprise. So, and I guess Vito kind of stealth adopt Stan too.
Boink.
Yeah, kind of yoinked.
The adoption papers.
Yeah.
Also, here's something that you guys will probably find funny. Hark, if you had introduced Vetra early on in the game, Nathan would have been flirting with her constantly.
oh, that would have been great. That would have been really.
Yeah, can you imagine the reveal then? Just, oh, I'm flirting with Dia's mom.
oh
Yes.
no,
Ah, well, she's cute. Screw it. I am literally.
Wouldn't have been the first time in these campaigns, let me tell you.
Yeah.
I would be Dia's daddy.
oh yeah,
Yeah, definitely have had a PC like almost dating somebody else's mom. So
Oh,
I mean,
I
it
was
literally
waiting
happened
for that to
because
happen.
I think it's pretty obvious that I love Vetra, and if you had introduced her early on in the campaign, like maybe in the Krogan area, Nathan would have been like, "Here's my number, call me."
I mean, the door's still open.
Just yet
You're not wrong
another
there.
ship to
It'd be
squeeze in
weird
there.
at the stage to be like, "Hey, here's my number, call me." Then
We
again,
can
if
read that and say that you did it.
or so, I don't know. Maybe I'll think on it because we got like a month until the next session anyway, so I can think on it.
Anything else
Yeah.
before we close?
Many surprise ships were confirmed today. So
Yeah, and
Yeah.
feelings, a lot of feelings.
yeah, a lot of feels, a lot of romantic and kind of lustful moments.
Well, it's
Yeah, rattling.
it's very traditional in Mass Effect games where just before the final confrontation, you have the, you
To
know,
get together with your
It's the night before the suicide mission.
yeah,
Yeah.
before the suicide mission, everybody's getting together now. All the PCs are getting with people.
or just
So
Yep.
poor Koalan will never unsee that.
or koala.
Poor Koalan will never unsee that. I feel bad for Koalan.
Oh no!
Every time he closes his eyes, you can see that green butt.
Oh, he
But,
meditates a lot. No.
And Nathan gets to have 3 partners.
Yeah. Shipping Nathan with everyone. Has
Yeah.
Nathan
Hey Nathan, how comes your mom lets you have 3?
and Nathan ended up with Vetra as well at some point. Casual.
4.
And then I'm just Nathan's just like he retires from life. He just leaves. No one ever sees him again. He just takes all his money and vanishes.
Oh,
Nia would hunt him down and kill him, probably. Maybe. I don't know. I think Nathan would be happy though having Colin as like a brother-in-law if he did end up getting with Sarah. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, it's not too late. You can, I mean,
Like, hey, look, here's your old friend from school. College.
if nothing, yeah, it's your decision. Like if nothing happens, Koalan's gonna continue down this path, and Sarah's gonna continue down this path. But if you guys want to see something, then you might need to intervene a little bit. But that's up to you all. So
Correct. Slightly.
Everyone's gonna play matchmaking.
Yeah.
you have one
Oh,
session
yeah.
left. So
yeah. During the final mission, we are all
so
trying-
Koalan,
yeah.
Matchmaker. Hang on.
I have to tell you about Sarah.
Just
What?
Like that scene in Trek
I
3
have
where-
to tell you about Sarah.
Yeah.
I
Just like
can
that scene
hear
in
you.
Trek 3 where Trek is slowly flying away on the ship, and Fiona shout at him. She's pregnant, and he can't hear her. Well, he's just far enough away that he can't turn around to come back.
Or it's like the
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future 3, where Clara is like on the train trying to go after Doc Brown. Yes, on the train. Anyway,
It also happened something like that when they were connecting the car to the clock tower.
yeah.
I have to tell you about your parents. What?
What?
It's going to be great though. I can't wait. It'll either be the most funny thing in existence, because I'll probably if anything is going on, I'm just going to roll dice and just see what comes up sometimes. Because I don't want to like just say things happen. I want to roll some dice and see what happens sometimes, because I think that's always a good thing to do with the epilogue sort of stuff. Leave some of it to chance.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
if we
I
survive,
guess-
there might be an epilogue. If there's not, then there'll be nothing.
I guess I can talk about the one thing that Hark and I we're talking about, because it's kind of because I guess in the end it's not really gonna happen, but we were talking about the tadpoles from the lab from the Krogan arc thing, and how Vito would probably want to foster these tadpoles, but they won't live very long. And Hark was like, if maybe you knew something that could help them, I don't know. And I was like, that's true. That I mean, Loon didn't need his mask with the red lyriums. And yeah, I was actually considering Vito studying the red lyrium to try and figure out how it could make lives longer. Or at least help
Okay.
those Solarium tadpoles, but I ended up thinking like, no, Vito's been too close to stuff that like negative things that the red lyrium did. He probably wouldn't go and do that, but it was kind of a fun thing to imagine.
Well,
Yeah.
Oh well, you can still like make Solarians lives better with your DNA and such.
Yeah, the DNA. It seems like Vito's gonna have to put Shias and his mom in contact.
I wanted to ask after I offer that what Vito thought about that, because we never asked. Oh well, do you agree? Do you want to?
Vito, well, you see, like I said earlier, that the one thing that stressed Vito the most out about, the whole thing is that there was no consent. He didn't really consent to be part of that experiment.
Oh.
And he's like, well, Shias wants to, so that's different.
Oh, okay. Well, but
yeah.
does Vito consent?
I mean, if Shias wants to live longer, then who is he to?
Did I hear that voice?
Yeah. So he would put her in contact with her mom, his mom. Yeah. Yeah, other than that, about the whole like possibly gimmick world traveling thing.
Oh. Well, I was actually thinking that they would go to universes that don't have to do anything with the story, so it doesn't affect anything. So it's just like a thing that doesn't happen, like that. It doesn't affect the rest of the campaigns. But yeah, if Hark maybe wants something to happen, like something to appear in somewhere, like Gimmick would want to help anyone that needs it. So if somehow needs something to happen, you could use them. But yeah, it's just like a funny thing. Because when Gimmick went to the Pokemon world, it liked how people treated Gimmick like as a god, and yeah, it's just because of that I thought, oh well, maybe Gimmick would go back there. But yeah, it's just we don't know what is going to happen next session. So yeah, it's too early to plan things. But for example, one of the things I thought was like Gimmick would do this policing of the universes like on its own. But I like that the chance of like saying this idea aloud made it so now it's like a group effort of trying to police the the universe jumping. But yeah, I don't know if it's going to play out any roles in the future either.
I do also believe that Nathan promised. I don't remember if it was Cassie or Cassie's girlfriend that he promised this to, but he said he'd come back and cook them food because they looked after him. So he's gonna have to go back and, provide some of his chefery.
Yeah, and we still gotta give back the necklace to Tiffany because I think she would find us and kick our butts to get it back.
It was like she wanted the necklace back.
Yeah, she wanted the blue lyrium necklace back because it was Kyle's gift to her, and Dia just wouldn't give me that.
It kind of stole like a ring, I guess. Is that the best way to put it?
Kind of.
I didn't remember that. I didn't pick that up, but yeah, it was really nice of her to like lend it off in that case.
Yep, but like the first thing she said giving it to us was, "I need that back. I want that back."
She wants that back. And I told Petra off camera. I said, "Don't worry, you'll get it back. It might not be right away, but you'll get it back."
Yeah, right now Vito's wearing it. It's very fashionable.
Yeah. She'll get it back as long as you guys don't, throw it in the depths of a volcano.
Yeah.
Or die.
Why?
Dying is also a very viable option here. We die, and she's like, "Why didn't I ever get my necklace back?" And then the world
Oops.
collapses in around her.
Yep.
Oh, no.
Oops.
Oops. Yeah, let's not die, guys.
Well, one way or another, this thing will be solved, but one involves exploding like a lot of planets with people, and the other one is like the perfect ending, right?
Yeah, one is we like managed to get the red lyrium asteroid into the star system with nobody occupying it and blow it up there. Or if we can't get it to go through, we have to blow up the star Heshtok and basically kill the Fortune home world, which I don't think Zadre would be very happy with.
Yeah.